Trekking and nature are closely linked to our spiritual journeys. It's easy to lose perspective in the hustle and bustle of city life, the grinding daily routines and endless demands placed on us. Venturing out gives us the space and time to reflect, to feel, move freely, to be still, and to draw closer to God through creation. Nature is the mirror of the Quran, so it forces us to reflect about life, oneself and the world. And these are signs clear for all without any ambiguity or ambivalence, that will take you to somewhere new, something you've never experienced before. Iceland is located on an oceanic fault. Its landscapes look exactly like how Earth was millions of years ago, before life appeared, due to its immense and intense geothermal and volcanic activity. Because of its volcanic activity, Iceland hosts many geothermal stations, and 25% of Iceland's power comes from geothermal activity. One can find natural pools of hot water, hot streams making their way through snow and ice, ponds of boiling mud and hot vents which carry the smell of sulfur, and geysers blowing water up to 70 meters high. Iceland hosts some of the largest, most iconic and most powerful waterfalls of Europe, namely Dettifoss, Selfoss, Svartifoss and Skogafoss. The water streams are so powerful that they have dug canyons into the volcanic stone. Seeing such vast, diverse and cumbersome landscapes are very humbling, and we realize that human being is literally nothing compared to the majesty of nature. We had an opportunity to visit a few caves, and one of the caves that we saw in northern Iceland was used for bathing a long time ago. But the water temperature has increased so much that it's not used any longer. It was quite unique to see the contrast between the freezing temperatures outside and this nice warm water inside, in which we both made ablution. The coast in the south offers incredible perspectives. We saw cliffs at sunrise which are nesting points for many birds, especially puffins. Because of the volcanic nature of the ground, beaches are entirely of black sand and rocks, which gives the impression to walk on Mars. Actually, NASA conducted, since 1965, simulations of potential living conditions on the Moon or Mars on Iceland. The other thing we really saw for the first time were glaciers. The Vatnajökull is the largest glacier of Europe, with a size comparable to the surface of Northern Ireland, or even 10 times greater than London. Some of the outlets are 10 kilometers wide, with crevasses sometimes 30 meters deep, and require special equipment to walk on. Many of them have a glacial lake in which one can find icebergs drifting to the sea, like the Jökulárson, where one can see icebergs tall like houses and hear the sound of the ice cracking and breaking. Entering the glacier from beneath and finding ourselves in ice caves is probably the best experience that we've had. The mesmerizing blue color of the ice is due to its density, which is so high that it expels air particulates from the solid and reveals this blue color. A great part of our journey comprised of trekking. For reaching remote places of the island, we needed to drive on very uneven, rocky or even frozen roads before setting off for trekking. Because the most interesting parts are only accessible by foot, we had to walk in Arctic conditions and landscapes. Walking for hours on snow with backpacks weighing up to 40 pounds per person, up to 18 miles a day, 11 hours a day, down to minus 15 degrees in temperature. We had to cross ice-cold rivers, and at some point the water in our hydration pipes got frozen, and we got caught in a blizzard with no visibility and strong winds loaded with ice. But we were well prepared and had adequate equipment. We had to use the emergency shelter, which was useful because there wasn't any natural shelter, as the centre of Iceland is a desert of rocks and ice. Our diet comprised 2 meals a day, with dried macaroni and cheese, dates, figs, nuts, cereal bars, dried fish, condensed milk, and we made tea during the breaks. We carried all the food with us without resupplying, but water wasn't a problem as one can find many springs around the island. The nights were chilly with sometimes strong winds. What kept us going during the trek when we were tired and exhausted was our zikr, remembrance, and prayer helped us to keep focus, especially as we had the option for tayammum, which are ablutions using either soil or rocks, which were really helpful in these freezing conditions. These gave us the peace and determination we needed to keep going. As part of our daily routine, there was a lot of silence and solitude, which made us reflect on the signs around us. There are many parallels between life's journey and trekking. When we reach a point of certain exhaustion, the tawakkul, the trust in Allah, comes naturally and becomes ever present. At one of the points during our treks, we reached Lanmanaluga, which is a natural hot spring site. Tourists attempting to drive were forced to drive back as the roads were inaccessible. It took us 2 days to reach it by foot, but it was rewarding to find pools of warm water in the middle of the ice and snow just for the two of us. This experience really took us outside of our comfort zones more than we had anticipated. It's one that can either strengthen or damage relationships. Traveling with someone for such long periods under very demanding circumstances requires patience, compassion, continuous consultation, checking in with one another's thoughts and feelings, and knowing when to take risks and when to draw the line. Mevlana Rumi says that ego is like a wild horse. It requires constant attention and discipline. It should be under our control and it should not be controlling us. When we are stretched outside of our comfort zones, that's when it's most likely to bolt and cause havoc. We were in several situations that could have tipped the balance and resulted in a breakdown, yet it didn't. What anchored us was our resolve and determination to journey together, to remain patient and persevere with compassion in the most extreme of conditions.